Hello everybody, it's Fatman from the Holler. As usual, if you like my videos, hit like and subscribe. Today, I'm going to show you guys some of the stuff that I draw. And most people have to have a department or people helping advertise them. So this is something I made before I had COVID and I got a little sick. It says Fatman from the Holler, has the phone number, Millersburg, Missouri. Fatman from the Holler at Facebook and YouTube. Airbrushing, custom auto body repair, custom woodwork, metal fabrication, custom art, vinyl stickers, casting lead, antiques, and flea market. Because I was initially trying to have my own business. So that's one. I want my freehand art. And this is a freehand art that I actually made for a girl that I was trying to date that didn't work out. But it's a rebel flag with 2 hearts. And I kind of liked it. I think would actually make a good tattoo for someone. And then here is another photo. This is actually on laminate paper that I can provide a link for that I bought off Amazon. This is actually a sticker of a hummingbird I got out of a conservation magazine. I actually liked it, so I kept that picture because I do like hummingbirds. And then here's a picture of a 50 Chevy doing a burnout on a train track, as you can see in different flowers, etc. This is an older drawing that I did. And I believe here's another drawing I did. I like to do custom auto body work on cars, as you can see. This is the kind of stuff I like to paint on cars because I'm a bit different in my own creator content level, as you can see. And this is all freehand art. And I also have a fixation with koi fish. And here's another drawing that I've done about koi fish. I mean, it's not the greatest, but it's a little bit older. And here's an icon that I really enjoyed. This is Sonic, and you can see the rings that I placed on here and different stuff. And what I do is I use glitter pens, and this, you can see Sonic, of course. And I'll provide a few links for a few of the things in the video, like the laminate paper and the gel pens that I actually use for creating this stuff. This is done with pens on printer paper, and it's like my backyard, my pond had water in it. You can see like a bass swimming, my ducks, and the dragonfly to really bring it out, and the wind, etc., and the trees over the pond. And then another one is something I wasn't able to make because it's very problematic trying to find a thing called shape creep. But this is my DIY waterfall. As you can see, there's fish inside of it, and this would be molded out of concrete like shapecrete if I could actually find it, which nowhere's hardly carrying it now on Amazon or in Home Depot. But this would be elephant ears molded to make a waterfall, and then you can see the fish, and you have a pump down here, and it runs the water up to the top, and it comes down, and you can run off electrical motor that goes into a wall receptacle. And then it says, and then like I even left a diagram of water mash for elephant ear casting, sculpture, mold concrete, and hoses, and a mini submersible pump, a light, wiring, thread rod for support, and sand, seashells, gravel, or whichever, and whatever typical fish somebody wants. And then since I'm kind of a spiritual person of sorts, I really try not to put that on YouTube a lot, because I mean a lot of people have different ways, but this is kind of how my mind operates, and this is more of a metaphysical thing. And I mean, if people are new to metaphysics or would be interested in metaphysics if they don't know about it or what have you, Friedrich Nietzsche was like a very big person in metaphysics, and this is what a metaphysical version of, you can see how the wheel turns in the human brain, etc. I make my own art because I actually find it to be very relaxing, to where I can be free from physical pain and mental pain. And then as you can see in this one, it says Fatman from the Holler, and I drew the yin yang and aliens and different symbols like this, like Hindu symbols, Viking symbols, and the dragon, etc. And I just find that pretty interesting. This is for my mother, and this is what this represents is mother-son bond, because I was born 11/27/79. So my mother was a nurse for 50 years, so I drew that in roses for her, and the 3 crosses represent that. And then the Cherokee part of me, I always represent that, because I never let the Cherokee part of me not be known, because I let everybody know I'm Cherokee and I'm proud of it. And I just drew an implication of what I look like, And I don't have those tattoos of bear markings, etc. But it's just something I drew. And I have my own mindset of how I draw things. And I also like cartoons. And this is a church in Winnie the Pooh. And I mean, the little picture got tore a little bit, which makes me a little angry. But this is like the Smurf houses. And what I thought was funny when I drew Winnie the Pooh with a butterfly on his nose. And then the Smurf peeking out looking at him. And then when I do certain kinds of music, which is more of an alter ego and a past sequence of mindset, I actually drew this. And this is actually, you can see it on some of my songs. Cycle from the Holler, just like a alter ego of sorts. And then here's another koi fish that I drew, and I enjoy bright colors because I don't like a dim world. I like to, sometimes the world's dim, I like to be the light in it. Here's another picture I drew, which is what I call a gangster Smurf. He's sitting there smoking a cigar or a joint, or whatever you want to say. And then I know some folks like the movie It, the clown. And I don't like to do my clown routine very much because a lot of people don't like clowns. But it's a clown in my own little obscure way with flames coming off of him and his hair is different colors, etc. And then there's a video game I actually like to play time to time. It's called Borderlands. So I drew this guy. And it's like the character that's on Borderlands. So it's quite time consuming. In Borderlands, the B2D is actually a little more harder to draw than you'd think. And then here's Fatman from the Holler, me. And me is my alter ego, not me as personal life. So that's just another picture that I drew free-handed. And then here's another picture of Borderlands. I actually like that video game. And he's a fictional character, but his name's Claptrap in Borderlands. So I freehand drew him, which is a little time sensitive and takes a little while to draw it. And here's another koi fish cruising through the waves, and you can see the sun up in the top right here. And I like to make things really bright because I really am attracted to bright colors. And then here's another one I drew. It says Art by JS, which is Jamie Sapp, which is me and the Fatman from the Holler. And it shows a skull and different stuff and a dragon and different kinds of flames, etc., holding a crystal ball. And I actually really love Asian culture. And then here's another picture of a dragon I drew, and it shows clouds and different stuff. As you can see, it's not too bad. And then sometimes I'll look at stuff like this, which is actually a coloring book somebody's going to throw away that was given to me. So I actually saved the stuff where I can actually freehand and look at things and make my own idea. And then here's something else that I will provide. Well, actually, I can't provide a link for Amazon affiliate because it's not a part of Amazon. It's actually a part of TEMU, which is a Chinese business that's similar to Amazon, which is competitively cheap. But this is for doing tattooing. And you can just print this stuff off, and you can see there's a wide, diverse amount of stuff you can pick from. Skulls. And then, if you like different stuff like Aztecs, it has a little bit of everything in it. And the tattoos could actually be put on paper and shrink and down, decrease the size, because most people don't want to have something that big on their body. Sometimes they might, sometimes they do. But I buy different stuff, and that's another Aztec. As you go through, more of an Aztec princess, and you can see birds of sorts. And I buy a lot of stuff from Amazon or from TMU because TMU is really cost effective for like your stencils, etc. So I figure I'll wrap this up, but I actually wanted to touch base with showing you guys some of the stuff that I do, because usually you see my DIY stuff or other types of videos I do, but I like to provide just different things. And I also use a Wacom mini tablet. And here's a picture from many years ago of an S10 I built. I wanted to build a lowrider S10, and I used all bolt-on equipment for Beltec drop spindles and coils and nitro active shocks for the front and back, and the rear, lowering blocks and leaf springs. And as you can see, the S10 has body lines. I shaved all the body lines. It's a extended cab. I shaved the window, door handles, the antenna, had a cow induction hood, had 14-inch rims, and then I put a camper on it off of a Nissan. I had to cut it with a grinder, which is pretty problematic. And then what I did on the back of the cab is I cut the cab out in the front a bit where you could actually walk through it. And on the back, I shaved the tail lights, and I bought a California combo where I welded it to the back of the truck where the tailgate and the roll pan was one piece. and it even had a sun visor on it, and I put pink fern for interior. And some people laughed, but then in the future, I see in magazines a lot of people doing this stuff. It had a 4.3 in it, and you can see my father, he's over there in the corner smiling. So I had to get a big picture of this truck, but I did a lot of work on it. Had MSD ignition, MSD distributor, MSD wires, a 350 turbo transmission, 4.3 fuel injected that was changed over from fuel injection to a painless watering kit to where it actually had a mechanical fuel pump versus a fuel pump in the gas tank, and then, you know, a fuel cell for pumping gas, etc. Is a challenge because at the time I really didn't have a job and I was going through a lot of stuff when I was young, but it kept me out of a lot of trouble doing a lot of manufacturing and fabricating and buying parts, and over time I figured out how to use metal brakes, etc. So as I'm 44 now, back then I was even 24 or younger, and I actually been building cars and hot rods for a long time, and I had lots of anxiety and lots of shortcomings in different situations in life that made certain categories of becoming the way I am now a little harder. And I didn't have a garage, so I had to use my parents' garage, and there's a lot of bickering, in-house fighting because I didn't have a place to take my bed off. And the funny part about this is a Cab S10. You can see where the putty is right here. The bed was actually cut 4 inches because the frame that's under this truck, I made a stand and I jacked this sucker up with concrete blocks and 4x4 posts and got it up 6 foot in the air and rolled out the S10 4x4 frame and put it on a long bed frame because I measured from the rear end to the front for the wheelbase. The wheelbase is the same, but the problem is with the long bed frame, you have to channel the bed and shove it in 4 inches for it to fit. Initially, I wish I could have just found an S10 that was a 2-wheel drive, which would have made it a lot easier. But back then, I was living on a bad road, and I had to have 4-wheel drive, and everything in my life is always complicated. But, you know, I'll put it to you guys this way. Anybody who follows me on YouTube, and if you followed this video this far, I'll put it to you this way. Anything that I do, anybody can do. I would just advise become very knowledgeable about tools and how to obtain and do different DIY things or creation of building hot rods or whatever you're doing. Get knowledgeable, then start buying some tools, and over time you can start with cheap tools or mid-grade tools, and you eventually level up with your tools, and then you have to have materials, and you create a foundation. Your foundation is going to be your knowledge, and then the tools is going to be the fabric that actually puts the knowledge and the rubber to the road. And then when you have the materials, you just build up from nowhere. And anything that I do, anybody can do. And don't let nobody deter you, because I have 100% understanding that almost all of us in this world, we all seek to be something and want something. And I'm just here to support you guys. I do this for entertainment, and I do this for entertainment, some comedian type based stuff for some laughs and for knowledgeable things. I'm not here to be like a lot of these flamboyant Napoleon complex weirdos that have big fan bases and podcasts. I'm just a regular guy. I'm just incorporating my life to show you guys different things that make better you, that make you a better you, and more happy at doing what you do. I'm not here to take anything away from nobody, even the people that have millions of followers. I'm not envious or jealous. It's just they're not my kind of people. I'm more of a down-to-earth guy, laid back, located in Central Missouri, and I like to help folks learn new things. And much love from Fatman from the Holler. And hopefully you enjoyed the video and take some inspiration from it. And that is all.